Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Eva, and in this video I talk about trauma bond versus healthy love, and because it's just so crucial to know it, I wish that I would have known about this concept a long time ago. So I really hope that this video will help you too. Basically, I will just start talking about trauma bond, explain trauma bond, and then I will talk about healthy love and short disclaimer. I mean, like those type of relationship dynamics, they're usually more complex, but I try to talk about them in more simplistic terms. So the definition of trauma bond that I found was a trauma bond occurs when someone becomes emotionally attached to a person who is causing them harm. So abusive relationships basically, but this can happen in relationship with romantic partners, so boyfriend or wife or husband, or family members like parents, brother, sister, uncle, or even working environments, or also cults. So it can also happen with your boss or your colleague. And despite the abuse or mistreatment, the person feels compelled to stay and often struggles to leave the relationship. So very bad relationship dynamics basically. And some typical signs of this trauma bond and how it develops. So basically how it develops, it can happen because there's intermittent reinforcement. So this is when the relationship alternates between periods of affection and kindness and love, and also periods of abuse, neglect, and mistreatment. So basically, if you have maybe a parent, let it be a mom, and the mom is some moments super nice to you, and then the other moments like super mean to you. And of course, it's not just like a normal relationship where sometimes your partner or your parent or your brother, etc., gets annoyed, but it goes much deeper. It's really a pattern. And no matter what you do, so even if you're, for example, a really good husband, for example, still the other person, because of their own trauma or their own cognitive distortions, or because they have a personality disorder such as NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, they still alternate between being nice to you and then being kind of mean to you. And that, if you look in a specific case of narcissistic people, it's just this alternating pattern of valuing you and then devaluing you. And it's just very likely that can happen with narcissistic people. So this creates confusion and hope in the victim that the good times will return, and they just have to keep in this loop. But of course that doesn't happen, because no matter how nice we are or how much we try, we cannot cure with our behavior someone else's personality disorder, that it be a family member, a boss, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a colleague, or a friend. It's just not possible. But it creates this type of addiction in us humans, the same as also for animals. There was this a lab experiment with mice. So they every day at 12 o'clock or something, they got something like sweet milk to drink, or something like something sweet to eat or something good to eat. And then after that they got it only every other day. So sometimes they got it, sometimes they didn't got it, but still the mouse went every day at the same time. They went there because they were addicted to it. And it's so similar with humans, that even though sometimes we don't get the love, we automatically often think that just by trying harder we will get it. So that's kind of like, in simplistic terms, explain this intermittent reinforcement. Also dependency, that can happen when the abuser isolates the victim and creates a sense of dependency, where the victim feels like they cannot survive either emotionally, financially, or socially without the abuser. And it's really weird, because it can happen also to, for example, men who are like or women, for example, they have a job, they make money, but still in that relationship they feel like they're incapable of doing things. So it's really a weird type of sensation. Then also fear and survival, and the victim can sometimes or oftentimes feel or fear the consequences, what would happen if they would leave the partner, or if they would leave the parent, or if they would leave the colleague or the workplace. And so it could cause like just fear among the victim. Then we have also manipulation and gaslighting. So for example, that the abuser is hurting you emotionally, and then you say to them, hey, you're hurting me, you're mean to me, and the abuser says like, oh no, but it was a mistake, or it's just in your mind, things like that. So it's really an unhealthy relationship pattern. And also some other signs of trauma bonds is, for example, if you feel stuck and powerless in that relationship, if it feels like an addiction, if it feels like if especially like, or if it's in a relationship situation that there's like this physical connection but not so much an emotional connection, and it feels like an addiction, it feels like you have to think about this person all the time. If it's a romantic relationship pattern, you have to think about this person all the time, and you just want them to see you, you just want them to like you. So seeking that abuser's validation and approval, and also you feel very intense emotions such as hate, love, desperation. Like it's very, everything is quite intense, and it feels like you're in this emotional roller coaster. So why is it so hard to break? I already explained, because it can be quite addictive. It's just how the human brain, and also probably of animals, how it's programmed. Sometimes you get sweets, then you don't get sweets. Sometimes you get love, then you get like devaluation. It's just kind of this, if you're not conscious about it, about what is happening, it can make you quite addictive. And also, especially for those who have like experienced trauma bonds with parents before, it can cause repetition compulsion, that people who have experienced that traumatic situation or traumatic trauma bond with their caregivers, they want to repeat it with a person similar to their parents, and they hope for a different outcome. Subconsciously, it's like really like scientifically something that happens based on the human psyche, and of course it doesn't work, because if someone is like, for example, your male caregiver who mistreated you, and if they're the same like that caregiver, of course they're also mistreating you. So it doesn't, it's just how the human mind is kind of constructed. But it's really important to go to therapy, and that's like kind of those healing modalities that we can do, is go to therapy and heal all of those trauma blocks, and to also learn about healthy love, that I will now talk about. Because for those people who grew up with maybe trauma bonds within parent situations, so for example you were trauma bonded with a parent, you never really learned what a healthy relationship is. So it's really important to learn about it. So healthy love is about, and healthy relationship is about open communication, where both partner can bring topics to the table. They can say like, hey, you hurt me, and the other person responds. In the best case scenario, not defensively, but responds, I'm sorry that I hurt you, and you can talk openly about those conflicts. And it's not about a battle who is right, but it's a battle, it's not a battle, it's more like, how can we solve this situation as a team. And also there should be trust, so that there is loyalty among those two partners, and that both partners feel they can set boundaries, and they can feel safe with the other person. So this emotional safety, that you can talk with your partner, and your partner is nice to you, is kind to you. I think this kindness is just a key component of a healthy relationship, that if you're kind to your partner, that's really, I think, key in a healthy relationship. Also, a mutual effort and growth. Both partners are invested in the relationship. I mean, it cannot always be like 50-50, especially in long-term relationships, but there should be mutual effort on both parts. And of course, sometimes one person a little bit more, because maybe one person is working a lot, the other has a little bit more time, etc. But there should be both people putting in effort into a relationship and both people wanting to grow and improve themselves for the relationship. Also, there should be some sense of independence, that you still are allowed to see other people, to have friends, and to have a life outside of your partner. That should be given also, and I think that's really important to recognize if it's a healthy relationship is if there is predictability. So that you have a partner who is not like hot cold with you, but you have a partner who's consistently kind. And even if there is conflict, that you talk about the conflict. I think that's really, really important and a key sign that the relationship is healthy and that there is consistency. So not like, okay, the first 2 weeks everything is amazing and your partner puts in a lot of effort, and then after 2 weeks the partner disappears for a week or something like that. This is not healthy. So there should be some sense of consistency in effort, in love, and in care. And also shared values and goals. So that would also be a key sign of a healthy relationship, that you both value certain things, such as, for example, you both value like open communication, or like you both value doing sports together, whatever it is. Like you have the same goals also, if you want to have a family or you don't want to have a family, those types of things. Then also it should be balanced. So what you have a lot in those trauma bonded relationships is if they are romantic trauma bonded relationships, that there is a difference in power. For example, one partner is much older, has a lot more money, has a lot more knowledge, experience, and the other partner is just getting started. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can possibly contribute to a power dynamic. It doesn't have to be, but it could potentially be. And that balance of power, age gap, even if there is an age gap, there should still be two people who think that they're even, that they are both that they have the same value, that they both like each other, and not one person is better than the other or one person dominates the other, something like that. There should be some equality in it, and each person brings unique personal gifts, different gifts, but unique personal gifts to the relationship. So yeah, these were some signs of healthy love versus trauma bonded relationship. So how do we get from a trauma bonded relationship to a healthy love? So first of all, if you experience this trauma bonded relationship in a family situation, work situation, or romantic situation, the first thing you should do is, in my opinion, seek professional help with a therapist that can help you in that specific area. And some steps that you most likely will take in therapy is to learn how to set boundaries, and you learn how to create distance with that person or that work environment, like quit your job, start a new job in a healthier work environment, or set certain boundaries with that partner. But of course, each personal history is quite complex, so I think that's why it's so important to go to a therapist who specializes in that and who can support you in that unique journey. That's important to kind of set those boundaries, to learn about healthy love. So watching this video is already amazing, and focus on building your self-esteem, because if you have been, or if you currently are in such a trauma bonded relationship, most probably your self-esteem is quite low, because that's just the nature of what usually happens when you're in such a trauma bonded relationship. So to learn about self-compassion, self-love in this therapeutic process is key. And then but it's a very long journey, but then to give people a chance who are kind and supportive. But it's a huge journey. Usually it takes a couple of years until you fully heal, but just go to a therapist. If you experience this trauma bonded relationship and you feel hot cold, sometimes you're so sad and then sometimes you're so happy, it's not healthy. A stable relationship should feel stable, kind, supportive, without a lot of like dopamine excesses, but like more like serotonin, so like the cute, nice, gentle kind of happy hormone, instead of like this adrenaline crazy hormones that you get with trauma bonded situations. So good luck if you're in a trauma bonded situation. Go to therapy, seek professional help with a therapist. That's so important, so important. If you have no access to a therapist, you can also do courses until you can get help with a therapist. There's also, maybe if I have time, I might research like some numbers that you can call if you're in a trauma bonded situation. That would be so cool. Just ask ChatGPT, maybe also like someone who knows, who has gone through that process, who can guide you through it, is so important. So good luck with that. Yeah, because in the end you really deserve like love, and you deserve respect. You deserve someone who's kind to you, who cares about you, who understands you, who sees you, and you deserve just healthy, stable love. So yeah, you deserve the best. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. See you in my next video, and see you soon. Bye bye. Also, maybe if you watch this video in the future, maybe maybe I have like some type of offer that I can help you if you're in that situation, but I'm not at that point where I offer anything. But if you watch it in the future, you can maybe check out the description box. Maybe I offer something, I don't know. So see you soon.